God created a wonderful world and us to rule his creation. We were to share in his life, his purposes, and his heart. The haunting story of the serpent in the garden explains why the world is ruined and God can seem so distant. The first couple, Adam and Eve, lived with God in the Garden of Eden. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam that he could eat from any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of the good and evil, because its fruit would destroy him. The serpent whispered to Eve, "Did God really say you mustn't eat from any tree in the garden?" He planted a doubt in Eve's mind. God's being restrictive and controlling. Eve knew what God had really said, but the serpent went on, "You won't die. God knows that when you eat it, you'll be like him. God can't be trusted. He's not really good. He's threatened by you. He's keeping you from good. Don't take his word. Try it for yourself. You decide." Eve saw the fruit was good for food, it looked good, and it would make her wise. And she took some and ate it. And she gave some to her husband who was with her. The word sin means going against God's word and tasting evil. The serpent persuades us that evil is good, and to justify going against God's word by questioning his goodness. The problem is not that we doubt God's existence, but that we doubt his goodness. A great way to justify ignoring God is to deny that he exists, but that's just self-deception. Eve wanted something that God said would kill her, and so she colluded in her self-deception in order to justify herself. And Adam colluded with her with total passivity. But God was right. Evil fractured Adam and Eve's self-perception and their relationship with each other, their relationship with their Creator, and with the world. God's wonderful world was ruined, and people were subject to death. The evil that they'd taken into themselves undid them and God's creation. In the following chapters, evil multiplied. God intervened with a great flood to check human violence. But evil gained a growing power base as civilizations developed. Sin looked enticing, but it was sugar-coated bleach and it led to death. The first thing for us to see is that God's word protects us from evil. Evil tempts us, but if we obey God, we're safe. The critical issue in fighting temptation is our confidence in God's goodness and wisdom, and the battle is to maintain our confidence in the goodness and trustworthiness of God. That is what evil is constantly trying to undermine. Secondly, how we live is shaped by what we believe about God. If we trust him and love him, we'll obey him. But this doesn't work the other way around. We can try to live a morally upright life, but have a heart that is stone cold towards God. This is cold, heartless religion that wrongly believes our behaviour is all that matters to God. Trust and love are the foundation. Finally, we continually hear the serpent's whisper. Sin isn't really destructive. God's harsh and restrictive. There's nothing really wrong with sin. It's just that God doesn't like it. If we believe this, we'll resent God for spoiling our fun. But the reality is that sin will unravel our lives and leave us empty and broken. God hates sin because sin destroys us and he loves us.